Hi guys, welcome back to Tech Talks with Rachel. I'm here at Tech is Black in Houston, Texas. I'm just doing quick-fire interviews with amazing panelists. They've got so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much experience, and I can't wait for you guys to hear all about Dawn. So Dawn, what do you do? What's your full name and what's your role?
My name is Dawn Dickson. I am a serial entrepreneur. So the company that I was here talking about was my software company called PopCom. But I've been an entrepreneur 23 years in tech since 2001. So I definitely just consider myself a serial entrepreneur and founder.
That is amazing. So I'm an entrepreneur myself, so I can't wait for this conversation. Can you tell us a bit about your day-to-day roles and responsibilities as an entrepreneur? What does that look like?
First of all, checking in with myself each day, preparing myself for my morning routine, whether that's working out, meditating, not jumping on the phone right away when I wake up, but giving some time for myself. Over time, now I've been an entrepreneur 23 years, but about 10 years ago, I set a rule where I don't do meetings before 11 a.m. unless it's like a really special circumstance. The mornings are for me, whether it's for my, working out, self-care, catching up with work, preparing for the day, but I allow myself some time to center and ground in my day. No 2 days looks exactly alike, but always checking in with my team, whether it's, the virtual team on Slack. There was a time when I had an office, so going to the office, checking in with the team, daily stand-ups, and then aligning with our customers, seeing if there's any outstanding customer things that need to be handled, because the customers are always the priority at all times.
Okay, so what led you to pursue a entrepreneurial field and I guess the path of business, of changing industries, of, just the madness of entrepreneurship? Because I know it's not easy.
It's not easy. I went to school for tech in 2000, so that kind of dates me a bit. And I worked in corporate doing a form of tech, doing business development and UI, UX in the early days of the internet. And I realized that my skills were in high demand and there were things that I could use my talents for in an entrepreneurial way and solve problems that I faced, and that I could make more money and make a bigger impact doing it for myself. So this was in 2001. I started my first tech company. Now, it wasn't called a tech company back then or a startup. Those words weren't used. It was like, I have a small business. But it was certainly a web-based business, one of the first early in social media sites, video streaming, music streaming, and I ran this site for about 7 years. So it was one of the first in the country as far as an event site. But I realized that the skills that I was using at my corporate job day to day, I could use them to solve my own problems because I was very, very early in tech. And so from there, I started my first business in 2001, and I've been an entrepreneur full-time since then.
So people say a lot that tech is basically solving problems. You're a problem solver. So what you did was you identified issues in the industry, or you found pockets of just solving a problem.
Yes.
Is it that simple?
I think it is that simple. I mean, realizing that there's a problem you can solve, that is what an entrepreneur is. You have the knowledge, the information, the skill set to solve the problem, but it's important that you have experienced the problem, because you don't really succeed when you are trying to solve a problem for someone else that you can't relate to. So it's like, if I were to say, I'm gonna go start a business to help with racehorses, like I don't know anything about that. Even if I see there's a need, it doesn't mean you are the right person to do it. I really feel like the problem should be something as a pain point that you experience. So I've started about 7 companies. I've exited 2 so far, and they were all direct pain points or needs that I had, and I went out looking for a company to buy those services from or that product, and I didn't find it. And so that's how I knew that it was a good idea, because I personally needed it. And then I went out and validated the market and validated if other people wanted it, and then made sure they were going to pay for it. Because there's no sense in having a business if people are not going to pay you. That's what we're in business for. So that's another big part of it.
Okay, so what are the major challenges that you've experienced as an entrepreneur, and how have you overcome it?
The most major challenge of always has been funding, and that's something that carries on in this entire United States for Black founders. It's always funding. It's always convincing them that you are able to do this. It's always fighting for your seat at the table. And so we had to get to the point where you don't do that anymore. You just build your own table. You create your own opportunities. You bootstrap. You go out and find your own customers. It's unfortunate that we don't have the luxury to just have a napkin idea. Oh, this is my idea, and fund it. We have to go out and do the work. But that's what it is. It is what it is. It's not going to change. So what I tell entrepreneurs is go out there, bootstrap, get customers, validate your idea, get your product market fit before you even ever try to get investors so that at least you know that it's working. And if you can't get money, at least you can still continue to grow and operate off of revenue.
What skills do you think are essential to be successful as an entrepreneur?
Communication skills, the ability to communicate your vision to the public, to your team, to your customers, to investors. So obviously, communication is the foundation of everything, because you can have an idea, but it has to get on paper. It has to be articulated verbally. You have to be able to really be out there and be the ambassador for your product. But then, you have to have attention to detail, ability to research and really understand. Just because it's a good idea or you think it's something good, if you don't know how you're going to execute it, if you don't know where you're going to get the money from to continue to sustain it, so that's also comes into being grounded, being realistic, knowing your numbers. Even though a lot of people say, I'm not a math person, better turn into one very fast.
Me.
Better turn into a numbers person very fast, because you need to know your numbers inside and out. So those are some of the key things, is communication, understanding finance. If you don't, go take a class. There's plenty of classes on Udemy, on YouTube. There's just too many ways to figure it out. And I think those are the foundation. Those are things you must be able to do.
Okay, so what advice would you give somebody who's transitioning into tech? They don't know anything about tech. They don't know where to start. They're pretty much thinking, this tech. I'm hearing AI. I'm hearing all these. Everything's moving into tech. What advice would you give them? How does that person start from scratch?
Get an education, whether you're going to be in an accelerator program, whether you're going to participate in some kind of. They have accelerators. They have incubators for businesses. They have all kinds of coaching programs out there. Get a mentor. Learn the business. Tech is very broad, so you don't have to be an engineer or a CEO to be in tech. We need HR people in tech. We need graphic designers in tech. We need marketing people in tech. So you don't have to be a technical person to be in tech, but you need to definitely understand how things work, and that comes with educating yourself. Reading as much as possible, attending conferences like this one to learn and to network. But don't just jump in, because you will fail. It's not for the weak. So it's very important to understand what you're getting into and the dynamics of this ecosystem.
Lovely. 2 more questions. What trends and emerging technologies do you think will have the biggest impact in the tech industry coming up within the next maybe 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, we all know it's AI. It's been coming. I started incorporating AI into my stack in 2017, which was a long time ago, and I was a little bit ahead of that. And now this is what everything's about. So even on my panel today, the panelist said, if you're not building AI business, you're not building a business. So that means so many things. Again, artificial intelligence is as broad as the word tech, but really finding how you can integrate AI and in various forms of automation into your business and into your model, because automation will definitely also help keep your burn, which is the amount of money you're spending per month. If you can automate as many processes as possible, and then integrating AI, because we have to learn it.
I fully agree. I think AI is this thing where you just hear the term AI and people are not asking the questions of,
what is it? How does it work? How can it apply to me? What is it?
Nobody's doing the investigation.
Using AI, I don't even know what AI is.
Exactly.
Say it. So that's why I'm saying educate yourself.
It's the buzzword right now. Everyone is just saying it.
I've been in tech long enough to where I've been through all of the trends, all of the buzzwords. Oh, it's a website. Oh, it's e-commerce. Oh, it's a subscription box. Oh, it's SaaS. All these little buzzwords. No, it's AI. Now it's just understand what you're getting into and know that some things are just trends. AI is not a trend, but different uses of it is.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you're understanding and you're not just following trends and not doing something because everybody else is doing it, but that it serves a real purpose that's going to apply to your bottom line, meaning you're going to make money from it. If you're not making money from it, it's a waste of your time.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you guys have heard it here, so specialize. Okay, so what's the best career advice that you have ever received and would like to pass on to our viewers?
It's always trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. A lot of times we second guess ourselves, especially when we're an entrepreneur and we go out there and we have a great idea in our mind and people tell us it's not a good idea or it's not going to succeed, or they tell us no over and over and over again. But in your gut that this is something that you should do, and this is trust it. we second guess that voice that we have that God gave us, and it's here to guide us, and it's even in your personal life and in your career. So when it comes down to it, who you're going to trust and believe, always you before anybody else, always you.
Die on your mountain. Swear by your mountain. Because if you don't believe in an idea, nobody's going to believe in it. So I fully agree with that. Thank you so much for your time, Dawn. Where do we find you?
I am on all social media under Dawn Dickson, DAWNDICKSON. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, but my platform I like is LinkedIn and my Medium. And I have a lot of articles that really can help with the startup journey and the founder journey. So I encourage them to go check me out on Medium, Dawn Dickson.
Thank you, guys. You heard it here, so get in touch and stay tuned for more interviews here in Houston, Texas at Tech is Black. Thanks, guys. Bye.